Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Crockett Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. I got my man in the building, Donovan Sadiq, the Queen, Demetra K, and I am the 5-star general. It's been like 23 years since the white supremacists killed James Byrd Jr. up in Jasper, Texas. But we're going to talk about it tonight. Grab a seatbelt because it's going down. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for taking the time out to tune in to us. You know, without you guys, we wouldn't have a show, so I'm definitely grateful that you take the time out to hang out with us. I want to start it off by saying my man Mike Moe from the Stuffed Baked Potato Factory had an idea of sending some inner city kids to a football camp at Prairie View A&M University. And we talked on the phone, and I say, Mike, why you just don't put it on Facebook? You know, because he said, I'm going to get the bus. We just need some folks to sponsor maybe 15, 20 kids or whatever. Okay. Well, Mike put it on Facebook, and before you know it, enough money was raised to send 116 kids to an HBCU football camp. So kudos to the black business owner from the Stuffed Baked Potato Factory in Houston, one of the hottest restaurants in the city. If you're sleeping on them, you're crazy. And today I got a major hookup. I'm coming to the hood, man, but I ain't coming with just clothes. Man, I'm finna give thousands and thousands of digital tablets away with free Wi-Fi hooked up to them. I'm coming to your hood, bro. I'm coming. Ain't nobody finna keep begging these people for no help. I won't go get it. So that's how my day went today, just locking the deals down. So we definitely coming to Worthing, Westbury, Madison. I mean, everywhere, man. Marshall High School out of Fort Bend, 5th Ward. We coming, man. What's going on, Donovan?
Hey, you guys. Welcome. It's Monday, start of the earlier week. You guys made it through the weekend. I'm so happy you guys are still here with us. Do us a favor. Hit that share, like, and subscribe button. Help us beat the shadow ban that they're putting on the black media, because as time is going on and on and on in the Democratic Party, and Joe Biden, who's the leader of the Democratic Party, keeps dropping that ball, a lot of people are starting to wake up politically, and they're starting to see that we are out here on our own. But one thing I want to say, kudos to the 5-star, because once again, we're not just talking about it, we're being about it. And the 5-star's leading the way, doing what he's doing behind the scenes. You don't always have to get into a position and be a councilman or whatever to do what's right within your community. So big ups to the 5-star for doing that. But real quick for you guys, Kamala Harris went down to Guatemala today. And guess what happened when she got there? She was greeted by a bunch of Guatemalans that told her Trump won, and signs that said, go home, mind your own business. And she's supposed to be down there dealing with the immigration problem, whatever. And then think about this. While she's in there and she's speaking, wait. I want you guys to remember this. Listen to this very closely. This is a direct quote. And Demetra, you remember we covered this when Jeff Sessions said it. Do not come here. Do not go to America. That's exactly what she said. So when I heard this, I said, wow. What's the difference between the Democrat and the Republican immigration policy? There is no difference, because white supremacy is within both parties. So it doesn't matter. And this is where we're at. But this is what you guys wanted. Here we are. Demetra, what you got?
So hello, everybody. Welcome to the Monday night edition of the War Zone. Hope you guys had a great weekend. If you can do us a favor and share this live so everybody else can get the information and join in on the conversation, we would greatly appreciate it. So today, June 7th, marks the 23rd anniversary that James Byrd Jr. was murdered by 3 white supremacists what happened was, and we're all familiar with the story, but as I was refreshing myself with the story, I was like, well, I don't want to be too graphic, but I'm like, no, I'm going to tell it like it is because, people should hear the truth. So anyway, James was picked up or, met with and was picked up by the three white supremacists by the name of Sean Berry. And Sean Berry, I guess, was his acquaintance. So James and Sean knew each other, Lawrence Brewer and John King. Now, they were supposed to be giving him a ride home, but that didn't take place. They actually took him away somewhere and brutalized him to the point of beating him with a baseball bat, urinating and defecating on him. Brewer said that James's throat was slit, but the jury couldn't really find a whole lot of evidence of that. But they said after they did those things to James, they dragged his body for 3 miles, and most of that 3 miles, he was conscious and aware of what was going on. And so they said that he died when his head hit some sort of a drain pipe or whatever. And then they continued to drag his body to where his head came off and his right arm came off as well. And so once they got done dragging him, they dropped his torso off in front of a black church. Now, let's see here. Lawrence Brewer, he was sentenced to death, and so was John King. Lawrence was got executed in 2011, and John King in 2019. Now it is said that Lawrence Brewer is responsible for the last meal in Texas no longer being available because he ordered this ginormous amount of food and drinks and then said, I'm not hungry. So they immediately suspended that as like an 87-year tradition that was gone due to his shenanigans. And he also said that he would do it again. He wasn't sorry. It's a known fact that Lawrence Brewer and John King were known white supremacists in the KKK. One of them had tattoos of, racism. One of them had a black man hanging from a noose as far as a tattoo is concerned. Now, John King, said that he participated in the lynching of James Byrd because he was raped in prison by black men. And so that was, I guess, it's kind of like I'll spit on your grave type of thing to do that to James Byrd. But needless to say, Sean Berry, he was sentenced to life and he is eligible for parole in 2038 at the age of 62 or something like that. So I think he was among the youngest. Now, James, left behind 3 children. He was married and said he was a vacuum cleaner salesman, but, just trusted too much and took a ride that unfortunately cost him his life. And so there was a bill fashioned out of that, the James Byrd Jr. and Matthew Shepard, like a hate crime bill. And that basically says that you don't have to be participating in a federal activity in order for investigators to go after your perpetrators for a hate crime. So it doesn't automatically attach a hate crime. It just says that the investigators can go after them if you were involved in something outside of a federal offense. And Matthew Shepard was a gay teenager that was murdered due to him being gay. So they have a bill together. So.
Okay, it seems like his mic's still not working.
There we go.
There we go. There it is. Good, 5-star.
I don't want to get this confused, but what does a gay teenager have to do with a man being decapitated? Even in death, we can't get a bill just for us. I just wanted to say that. I've had the opportunity, I think in the last year or so, to actually talk with James Byrd's daughter, Jamie Byrd, who's a phenomenal Houston police officer. I just couldn't imagine what it's like to go through something like that as a family. But I'll tell you something, and me and you talked about this earlier, Demetri, about Walter running around trying to buy property in Texas. You got to be real careful where you go in the state of Texas. That Golden Triangle area, Beaumont, Port Arthur, and Orange, and all those little surrounding towns around there, Jasper, Texas, Vida, Texas, It's all the same thing. Ain't nothing changed down there since James Byrd died. No matter how much the feds came in, like in Vida, black people couldn't live in Vida. I mean, late 90s couldn't live in Vida, Texas. And the feds had to come in and force the housing authority to allow people to move in there. Now, if you're black, why the hell you want to move somewhere like that? But then when you think about that whole Golden Triangle area, which is Klan infested, it's Klan infested. They don't want to act like it exists. And you want to act like things have changed. The police are still murdering people down there. It's still the same racism down there. So even after the death of Mr. James Byrd, not much has changed in that area. Donovan?
You know, I kind of, you know, I was born in the South in Louisiana, in a town called New Roads, which I call Old Roads. And I say Old Roads for the simple fact that, like you guys just said, nothing seems to change there. You know, the town is basically separated by the railroad track. And the funny thing is, when I go down there, I just notice that the blacks are just running ham on their side of it. But right across the track, it's basically pristine, good old country, Confederate land. And I look at, me being a new person, I would go across the track and my family would freak out. Don't you go over there to Mr. Carbone's property. You better come from over there. And it's like a mental breakdown. And I could never understand, after 60 years of civil rights and all this stuff that they did, we marched in Baton Rouge and all this other stuff, the mental derangement, it seems to me, how they just accept the way things are. And I'm like, wait a minute, you can walk over here if you want to. They're like, no, you can't. And they're just, I know you want to get along, but times must and always will change, regardless if you want it to change or not. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, a good example is where I live. This was a military community, nothing but white folks. It is now young Hispanic families that have surrounded me where I'm at. Times must and always will change. I will never understand how in the South, you guys are okay with enclaves of racist, and maybe I'm stereotyping, don't get me wrong, but I just don't understand how, you could be accepting of an enclave of a bunch of racists and you're like, well, they go over there, we stay over here. I just don't understand that, because out here in California, that would be a problem.
Well, I actually did a story today. It's not up yet, but on African Diaspora News Channel, where there is a town, I forget the name of it, but it's in Nevada. It's right, like a couple miles outside of Reno, that the governor just banned their siren, their sundown town siren, and the siren would ring, I think like at 6 o'clock or so, to tell people they needed, if you weren't white, to be out of town by 6:30. Now, originally it was put up in 1908 and then moved to the town I can't think of in 1917, but it was for Indians to let them know, hey, you need to be out of town, or anybody who wasn't white by 6:30. And if you weren't, you'd be fined $25 and or jailed, which, it's like, come on, that was the least of what they would do to you. But I'm seeing you guys in the comment section talking about a lot of sundown towns that still exist. And that is absolutely true. There's a lot of sundown towns that have now gone away. And then Donovan, to your point, on the surface, I agree with you. We shouldn't be living in these enclaves, but it's like, I think we also need to be aware that it's not wayward white men that are running around enforcing this sundown town stuff. It's police officers too. The police officers are spearheading, the Klan because they're in it, right? But they're a part of it too. Run them niggers out of town. I ain't supposed to be here. So they just are. And so that's why they still exist. Now, back in the day, obviously it was like, whoa, they lynching Negroes over there. Don't do it. But now it's more of a secret, right? Like you just get caught going through the town and here comes some headlights behind you. So, yeah, and to Gary's point, I don't know why we would want to be around them. You know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us to be very careful when being around crowds of them folks. So, not to say that you should be lynched for it, but the more things change, the more they stay the same. These white folks is trying to hold on to yesterday, and that includes lynching Negroes in 2021.
But we have to forget about slavery. We need to get over it. But they won't forget their thing, but we have to get over slavery.
Yeah, I mean, they want us to get over slavery, and we should never get over that. But right now, they holding the cards, you know. And until Negroes get unified and get very clear of what we're going to, you know, do, then they're going to continue doing it. They don't want to let go of yesterday. It ain't going to be too long before we are back on the plantation picking some cotton and tobacco. Not Gary, because you know he said he going to be. I'm
gonna mess the whole new slavery thing up on the first day. A lot of y'all ain't gonna get sold because once you tell them I'm just like Monroe, they ain't gonna want to buy or sell you because I'm gonna cut up. You gonna kill me. You know, I get it that these towns exist, but I don't understand you Negroes. Let's talk about Houston. Why y'all keep running over to Palling? You know them people don't want you over there. Why y'all running down to Angleton? You know them people don't want you over there. Y'all kicking it down there in Montgomery County? They don't want you over there either. Let me say something. Sundown towns exist because niggas ain't found the right realtors. Find you a realtor, man. You don't have to live like that, bro. And because you do, you make us look a certain way. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I remember when I went down to Lafayette with the NFAC coming through there, and the mayor had sent me word that you need to get up out of Lafayette, Louisiana. And I went to city council in front of a live city council meeting. I ain't speeding. I got my seatbelt on, my insurance good, my tags are up to date. This one nigga you ain't finna run up out of this town. Ain't nothing you could do to scare me to run me up out of this town. See, because I'm a buck either way. But why do we keep going to these places where these people don't want us? You people are, I call that the what am I looking for? That civil rights mentality. You gotta go because you gotta be included. You got to be a part of their world. Man, how long would it take them to shut down a city? Imagine if it was Monroe, Texas. Number of black people. Ain't no white people can live here. How long would it take them to stop that shit? And we still allowing this to go on. That has a lot to do with the people we voted off. Why this stuff still exists. In Texas, you got laws on the books that don't even make sense. You can actually kill a man for stealing your horse in the state of Texas. In the state of Texas. So all this stuff that's going on with sundown towns, that's because we allow this stuff to happen and we refuse to go to get a realtor and move our good slave-minded asses up off the plantation and into modern civilization.
Well, let me ask you guys this. With all these so-called hate crime bills being developed and stuff, if you've got a hate town, how would that hate crime bill affect a area or a place that has a bunch of racists in it? Like I said, I still wonder, why hasn't the KKK been designated a terrorist group?
Because they done spent too much time labeling the Nation of Islam one.
Well, that's not necessarily it. It's because the lawmakers are the KKK. That's
exactly.
Why it behooves us to study history and to know that the KKK, most of their members were senators, judges, police officers, sheriffs, like people. It look at those, a lot of those pictures when they were lynching black people. What did those people, what were those men wearing? They're wearing suits. They weren't no hillbilly. They were wearing suits. They were card-carrying senators and people in high up. So that's why they won't label it, because if we know what, history, We know they taught that to their kids and their kids. And so there's a whole bunch of them that's showing their teeth right now in Congress that they are, Klan mentality. So, I mean, that's why they won't designate it, because then they have to point the finger at themselves. But I want to say this, because this is where we got to have a come to Jesus moment. So it's not safe for Black people to move to white neighborhoods that are sundown towns and all of that, right? But it ain't safe for a lot of Black people to live in our neighborhoods. So somewhere in between there, we got to find a happy medium. Either we fix the hood or we continue to force ourselves where we're not warranted. Either way, you in trouble. So what are we doing? I should also say, too, that those men that killed James Byrd, it was the first time that a white man in the history of Texas, that a white man had been sentenced to death for killing a Black man in 1998.
It's an easy thought to fix the hood. We have enough soldiers walking around that could really do some things if given an opportunity. See, that's the key right there. If given an opportunity, they don't want the hood fixed. And in real lifetime, in real time, they don't want the hood fixed because they don't want no niggas in the hood no more. They need to turn the hood into white America. Because most of the hood's kind of like close to downtown in a lot of different cities. So it's easier to get downtown if you live close to there. You never notice they don't fix the schools in the hood until the Negroes leave. They don't deal with the crime until the Negroes leave. So they don't want to fix the hood. And my thing is I'm just like, I don't get it, man. I'm gonna just say this here. And Demetra, you laugh a lot, so just hold yourself. I don't know if it's gonna be funny, but it's real for me. I don't get along with a lot of Negroes. Never having to worry about getting along bad with white folk. But I know if white folk don't like me and don't want me in a certain spot, I ain't gonna be there. I don't need to be there, because eventually we're going to cross paths and it's not going to end well. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of the stuff that's going on in our communities could stop. Realistically, it could stop. It could become a better place. But the United States of America in itself is not somewhere that Black folk need to be. They don't want us here. They treat us indifferent every single day. And I'm not finna move to your neighborhoods that you don't want me in and you're looking at me funny, stopping me. Because I ain't stopping every time you get behind me. I got somewhere to be. I ain't finna do it. So the best thing that old Monroe could do, I make sure that I got enough gas in my car when I'm going from Houston to Lafayette, so I do not have to stop in the Golden Triangle. My attitude is too bad, and it probably be some shit on the side of the road, because I'm not going to put up with it. I'm just telling y'all. So y'all that want to move out there with them people, evaluate your current living situation and figure out if them people even want you there.
The funny thing is, when I was stationed at Keesler Air Force Base in Biloxi, I was there temporarily. They gave us the briefing as we're leaving. They told us, do not stop. They didn't really say color, but they said, if you are a different type of person, do not stop in this town if you're going east, called Pascagoula. Now, the thing about Pascagoula, Mississippi is that is a big defense contracting area where they build ships and they do, some kind of military construction there. But they said, if you're another type of person, do not stop there. You're going through in the evening time. They want you to go through during the day. So let's say I had to work until 8 o'clock at night. If I have to go somewhere on my duty, they would let me go early so that I can get past that town, before the nightfall came in, whatever. And I'm just thinking, here we are in the 21st century and this stuff is still going on. And what was crazy was they act like I should just accept it and this is just how it is. When is the stuff going to, the foolishness going to stop? And, and that's what makes me think about the South. I'm like, everybody here is good with this, but if you're for somewhere else, you might not be good with it. Like myself, I was like, this is some bullshit. You mean to tell me in America as a citizen, I can't go where I am pleased to go? And in the South, they say that's right. You can't go certain areas, and people are cool with that.
I ain't from America. I'm from Third Ward, Texas. That's a world in itself. I ain't from America. That's why I don't get caught up in a lot of stuff that go on, because it is what it is. When I moved my fat ass out to Fresno, Texas, thinking I'm going somewhere nice, and them motherfuckers got to acting funny, I put that for sale sign in the yard. I can go back to the hood and get treated like a king. I ain't got to be out here with this bullshit. And just to be out there to say I own a house, and no, I'm not finna put my family through this foolishness, man. I'm not gonna go through it. So, you know, a lot of people, like I'm reading comment, Penelope Pit Stop say, buy the empty lots in the hood. That's easier said than done if you really think about it. I mean, because these people want to gentrify these neighborhoods. So it ain't like they finna sell these properties to us. They ain't finna sell. They got master plan communities already in their brain, 20, 30 years deep. And they not trying to sell this to us. They don't want the hood to come back. They want niggas out the hood, man. When they turned Third Ward into Midtown, they had to put that new HEB over there. Oh, just nice HEB. They ain't got enough cripple man carts. That's what I call them. They ain't got enough of them. But once they ran the niggas out, then they came with the new high school. Then they came with the new grocery store. They don't want us there, bro.
And then another thing, you know, a lot of those neighborhoods used to be white first, right? The white flight came in when, you know, integration started. We moved in and they moved out. And so now they want it back. And, you know, they're gentrifying those areas. But, you know, I guess I understand where Donovan is coming from. I'm a Southern California girl. So, you know, in California, we're a little bit more liberal out there. You kind of go where you want. I mean, they have their issues too. Don't get me wrong, you know. But, you know, just thinking about the South and being in the South, I mean, every day I think about like, wow, what did I get myself into, right? Because just, you know, seriously, like, you know, hearing how racist the legislators are and just, you know, certain things that go on here. I mean, even down to the road rage. I'm like, y'all shooting and killing each other because somebody cut you off?
So it's the road rage, it's the legislators, and I bet you, I got 500 that after the first hurricane, Al either gonna move to California or he gonna be in Houston by himself. Cause when you see the fuckery that come with these hurricanes, you finna get up out of here.
Well, I hope it ain't that bad, but yeah, I mean, it's an adjustment. Listen, that thunder, lightning, tornado warning storm y'all had, and y'all say y'all because I'm not really, I got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. No, but seriously, that was a lot. That was a lot, but it, you know, it's an adjustment for me. I will say that because mentally, I'm like Donovan, like, shoot, we go where we want to go. We ain't scared. My heart don't pump no Kool-Aid, but then you're cognizant of where you are. You are in the South, where, you know, you don't have you have rights, but then you have a lot of rights. You don't have a lot of rights that's unwritten. That's what I'm trying to say. And so,
guess what else? Mm-hmm. In the South, you got a lot of animals running around, a lot of kitty cats, and that ain't the word I want to use. What happened to James Byrd? Why we didn't tear this motherfucker up? Why we ain't tear this motherfucker up? Because you know why? They have mentally and physically beat us down so bad in the South that we are afraid to do anything. Boys over there in Seattle, they've been off chain for damn near 2 years. They can't even get the city back in order. Them niggas get loose in LA, they tear up everything. On the East Coast, they gonna have to drop a bomb on them. Down South, they give a nigga a slice of watermelon to kill everybody in the house. They good.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, 5-star. Now, you know, the funny thing about the South is their education system is totally different than the rest of the nation and what they teach within the books. Do you think that that is also a problem? Because there's an old saying, if you think you haven't done anything, you never will do anything.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm kind of off key tonight. They have a fear of educating African American kids. Now they won't admit it. They won't publicly admit it, but they have a fear of educating African American kids because these kids' mentality is so crazy that it's unreal. They pistol happy. They'll pull that pistol in a heartbeat. They don't do no talking. They'll get to popping that thing on your ass. But here's the problem. If you educate them and they really figure out what you're doing to them, they're afraid they might turn them guns on them. No, our educational system down south is deplorable. They don't want us to know anything. That's why they passed them laws about race theories. Okay, well, see, this is how it would work for me because I'm crazy now, and I've been crazy. Just befriended my old U.S. history teacher 3 days ago from high school, and he'll tell you, no, he's serious. Mr. Claypool will tell you I'm serious. This is how this shit will work with me. So you telling me that I can't learn about my people in this history class, but I got to learn about yours. Let me tell you, Mr. So-and-so, how this going to go up, Miss So-and-so. Fuck you and this class. You going to teach me everything or you ain't going to teach me shit. And that's what it need to be. You think I give a damn about George Washington chopping down a fucking cherry tree? I didn't give a fuck about that when I was 15 years old. You know, Betsy Ross, she sold the first flag. You talking about the American flag? This the questions I would ask in class. Oh, you talking about the American flag that a whole bunch of black people got killed on? I don't want to hear that shit. But they afraid to teach these kids, Donovan, because they just might wake them up.
Well, so I have a differing opinion on the critical race theory. We know that, for lack of better words, it academically and, academic setting, school, for lack of better words, it teaches about white supremacy, what it was and what it is, right? So that's what it is. And a lot of white people, a lot of conservatives are like, no, I don't want it taught in schools because it's teaching people that white people are bad and, this, that, and the other. And on the liberal side, they want it to be taught. And so I don't care. And maybe I'm speaking, out of turn. I don't have a child in the school system anymore. I don't care if they teach critical race theory in school. You know why? Because they're not going to teach you right. They ain't been teaching us right about us. And the other thing is, why are we so bent on the school system teaching us about us? Like, your kids should already go to school knowing about white supremacy and what it has done to black people. You're going to expect for, Miss Betty White, whoever, to teach your child about her people and the stuff that they did to us. They're not going to do that. They're going to water it down like they've already watered down, race studies, if you will. I never learned about Malcolm X in any of my schools, any of them. I never learned about Marcus Garvey or the Black Panthers, none of them. Never learned about that. It was always MLK and Harriet Tubman, some more palatable black people in history. But if we are expecting white supremacy to implement critical race theory to teach us the truth about white supremacy, we can hang it up. I'm telling y'all, black people, stop sending y'all kids. For one, let's build our own schools. But until we do, stop sending your children to these white people's school, expecting them to teach your children about their black selves. They're never going to do that because, Gary, to your point, if they do it right, they wake them up and then they create a Nat Turner. And they've been trying to avoid that shit since 1835. So.
But why would you trust the oppressor to teach you about oppression?
But see, that's what the liberals, the Democrats, they are forcing that. And we get so excited. Oh, they going to teach critical race theory. What does that do for us? That we're waiting for white people to teach us about what they have done to our people. That's symbolism.
Well, let me say this here. I know we got some white viewers out there, and some of y'all feel that way about critical race theory. Okay, well, let's try this a different way. For those that say slavery wasn't that bad, I challenge you. Why don't you turn around and let us beat you in your fucking back with a whip? Let's see how that works. If it wasn't that bad, then why can't we talk about it? Why can't they talk about it in a school setting? You want to talk about police interactions in a school setting? You made that law in the state of Texas to where you got to teach us how to act when the police stop us. See, the problem is in Texas, you want to program us. And you've been programming us. But some of us we ain't tuned in to your program no more. You see what I'm saying? Any white person that wants to debate me, that not all white people, the ones that say slavery wasn't that bad, bring your ass to this war zone. Bring your ass. By the time us three finish embarrassing you, and trust me, I can handle you by myself. But all three of us finish embarrassing your ass, you're going to feel like a motherfucking out of place ostrich when you go stick your fucking head back in the ground. Because if it wasn't that bad, why can't, let's talk about it. Let's talk about some of the horrendous things that you did to us. Let's talk about what you did to our women. Let's talk about, what you really did to us. How you were not only raping the women, but you were raping the men too. Let's talk about it if you really want to talk about it. But I'm pretty sure that you scary bastards would never want to have that conversation in public. So it really was that bad. And I'm like you, Demetri. All this shit I learned about being black, I ain't learned none of that shit in no schoolhouse. They ain't finna teach you that. And guess what? I didn't want to hear that shit. I remember the day I got through out of history class for the whole year, because I had been cutting up for about 3 weeks. And they were talking about the Declaration of Independence. And I say, it's something wrong with that. I say, so you telling me that these people getting all this free labor, not the Declaration of Independence, or when they freed the slaves, they getting all this free labor, and the man just wake up one morning and say, "Now let's free them." The man told me you can leave the classroom. That wasn't new to me, but he put a twist on it. He said, matter of fact, you can leave the classroom. Don't come back for the rest of the semester, which I had about 2.5 months left. And I'm not going to flunk you. Shit, I'm going to the gym.
So let me ask you this, and I got a lot of questions. Like I said, I love the South. I love visiting there. Beautiful women, beautiful food, all that good stuff like that. That's going on down there. James Byrd's anniversary is today. I've seen in the last 3 weeks, people partying, celebrating, symbolism. The 4th of July is coming up. Negroes are getting the grills ready and stuff like that. How's the state of Texas remembered James Byrd?
Not only has the state of Texas not remembered James Byrd, ain't none of these Negro politicians running around there pimping George Floyd said anything about it. See, because James Byrd don't make up no money no more. See, they making money off George Floyd. They using that boy's name and everything they done ran that in the ground. I mean, who said anything nationally? Has the congressional black coon said anything? Have they said anything? No, they don't say anything. When the issue is 2 raw for MTV and 2 black for BET, all them black motherfuckers gonna be quiet. And that's right where they at today.
Yeah, and like you said, there's no money grab from talking about James Byrd anymore. All the accolades have been had, and the checks have been cashed, and so there's nothing. And they know, there's a lot of black people who don't even know about James Byrd or what happened to him. That was one of the most horrendous things to happen to a black man in modern day history. Y'all know, drag that man 3 miles and he was alive for most of that.
And don't get me wrong, real quick, I don't mean to cut you off, but what happened to George Floyd was atrocious. But people don't realize that when James Byrd was dragged, it separated his head.
Say, man, let's just be honest. And those that know gonna tell you and Donovan the truth. They may not be decapitating Negroes down there in that area, but them niggas still getting foots put in their asses, man. The cops still killing them down there. That shit just don't make national news. The politicians know what's going on, but they won't say or do anything about it. So what happened to George was horrendous. But George compared to James, that was like Disneyland. They decapitated this man. That means, imagine if I'm just sitting there, my whole head fall off. They decapitated this man. Wow.
Then it said too, that he was alive up until that point. Up to the point that he was decapitated. All of his ribs were broken, and he was dragged on asphalt. And I know that's graphic, but hell, it's what happened to him, right? What has happened to Black people in America is a graphic story to tell. But, you have the Democrats who are trying to force this critical race theory to be taught in the classrooms about white supremacy. They're more concerned with us learning about it than they are about doing something about it. As you guys mentioned, the Congressional Black Caucus, they're supposed to be for Black people, and they're not for Black people. They tout things for everybody else, but yet, 1998 wasn't that long ago. It was only 23 years ago, and, a Black man was, murdered in that fashion. But I think as long as we as Black people continue to hope and wish upon a star, or hope and wish upon a vote, that things are going to get better for us, they never will. We have to figure out what it is we want and then go about the business of getting it. Like I said, I don't give a damn what they teach in school. You shouldn't be going to school. Sending your child to school hoping they're going to teach your child about who they are. Nobody else in this country or anywhere sends their children to a school expecting somebody to teach them about them. That's like Jewish people. They don't send their kids to school and then hope that the school teaches the Holocaust, even though they talk about it. But I'm sure before they even get to the school, they tell their children about the Holocaust. But we as Black people, we drop the ball when it comes to our children about teaching them about the Holocaust Black people have been through in America. I get mind blown. And maybe it's just because of my upbringing. The parents that I had very, in the struggle and educated about our people. So I was privy to that from a very young age. But I get blown away when I talk to adults who don't even know the basics about what we as Black people have been through and, just the basics of Black people. So you want to get up and talk about, schools teach my kids about themselves and, you should be teaching about. Why? Why do you care what they teach your children about themselves if you're not doing it? Like, it's crazy. It's like saying, well, bear, I want you to teach my antelope children about being antelopes. The bear's going to be like, yeah, okay, I'll give you my best shot, but it ain't going to be as good a job as you can do.
Not only did you kill him, Mr. Byrd, but you buried him in a segregated cemetery. Now, see me, I'm not looking at no notes. I don't have to look at notes. This is what I know. When it comes to being Black, that's why I tell good white people in this struggle that we in, you're going to have to take a back seat, bro. You speaking on what you see. You don't live what we live on a daily basis. I'm sorry, but you don't. You don't live what we live. And then our kids have to go through this foolishness that we as grown folk, some of us can tolerate it. And I'm going to say this because I don't want people to get it the wrong way. Because I'm just real. I'm 100 with it. White folk don't like Monroe, and Monroe don't like white folk. We do the same thing for each other. We tolerate each other. Let's get that straight. We tolerate each other. I know where I stand with you. You know where you stand with me. Let's not start no shit, because it's going to be some shit. And that's just how I feel. I don't look for trouble. I finish the job. That's what I do. I don't just talk. But we as a people, you know what, Demetri, and it's amazing you said that about grown people not knowing their history. They really don't some days. And it's like they don't want to know. It's like you don't want to know.
They'll be the first one. Those Negroes will be the first one to tell you, well, that was in the past. Why we got to keep talking about it?
Okay, if it was in the past, then why does the past keep repeating itself? Why are black people being found hung in trees if it was in the past? Why is law enforcement still beating us, brutalizing us, and killing us if it was in the past? Why are my women being raped and disrespected if it was in the past? No, the past is the present. And we got to address it, and we got to stand firm when we address it and mean what we say and say what we mean. But see, that's the thing. I ain't got nothing to lose. I work for myself. Some of y'all can't open your mouth because you work for them people. And when you work for them people, you can't say what you need to say. Well, get what? Like I told you, when the new slavery come, I'm fucking up for everybody. I'm telling them fucking up for everybody. But the first day, you need to get out there and pick that cotton. You need to kiss my ass. I'm not picking nothing. If I ain't picking up no money, I ain't picking up nothing. We're gonna pay you a quarter of bail. You kiss my ass. I didn't work for minimum wage, and I ain't working for that. Now, how you want to handle this? Here my foot, cut half that motherfucker off, and I'm going to keep running. It don't matter. When you just get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you're going to do something about it. And I'm sick and tired of black people acting like they don't know where the fuck they came from. I applauded my veterans on Memorial Day. I never understood how you could go and fight for a country where you go and kill people in other countries and come back here and they treat you no better than a nigger. I never understood that. I never understood that. We're so valuable to this country when war happened, especially when you want to institute drafts, we the first ones to go. We fighting in the trenches. But when we come back, we nothing. I'm not even understanding that. And for those that don't understand how horrific James Byrd's murder was, say, man, if they'd have addressed this like they should have, probably wouldn't have been no Breonna Taylor or no George Floyd. They didn't address white supremacy. And as long as they continue not to address it, we will continue to repeat history.
Prophetic words, they're prophetic words. The funny thing is, though, when it comes to the older generation, I find out that they are quick to tell us what we should do and how we should do it. And I'm not like bashing the older generation, but they're quick to wag their fingers at us about what we know and what we don't know, whatever. Again, we could throw blame every which way we want to, every which way. But I used to tell my sons all the time when it comes to older people, even to myself, now that they're young men, when an older person is talking to you, I always ask for paperwork. I'm going to check your paperwork before you come for me. Because how can you sit there and tell me that I should do this or I should do it this way when you were locked up for the last 40 years and you didn't do a damn thing? Where's your paperwork showing me what's going down and how to get down? Where's your generational wealth that you're supposed to pass on to me? Why aren't you talking about James Byrd in this situation? I mean, I don't want to say this in a horrific meaning, but in the modern day, this man should be what Black Lives Matter is all about. This is the man that should have started all that, from the get-go. I mean, the way he was murdered and not to say anything actually tells you, does Black lives really matter? It makes you wonder, does Black lives really matter when Black folks that we elect sit there and say nothing then and until now? And I know some people are going to say, well, a lot of those congressional members, they weren't in Congress then. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. They've been in Congress for over 30, 40 years. Yes, they were.
Can I be honest with y'all? I don't want to talk about James Byrd. I don't want to talk about any of them. You know why? Because it's just talk. And God forbid something ever happens to me like that. You know, like Nipsey said, if something happened to me, I want y'all to ride for me. Don't talk about it. Don't sit around every time, you know, the anniversary of whatever happened to me talking about, wow, she sure was nice. No, I want to be able to know with my spirit energy, wherever it comes back, say, damn, man, I bet you they wish they didn't do that to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just continue to talk. Like, what are we talking about it for? So what? I mean, not so what that it happened, but okay, we're talking about it in what? What action is behind what they did to James Byrd or George Floyd or even Marcus Garvey, even any of them? What did we do since then besides talk and march and say, well, you know, today is the day? Well, like, are we done? Are we tired of talking?
Look at the coup.
We don't have the same spirit that they have. You see what I'm saying? When you did something to they people, they showed up at your house. If they even thought you did something, they showed up at your house, Emmett Till. You see what I'm saying? They hounded you. But see, when we get to talking about it like that, oh no, you're trying to divide us. How I'm gonna divide something that ain't never been together? We ain't never been with y'all. You will treat, you know, I can't wait until y'all really see what's gonna happen. See, because they fucking around in outer space. They outer space fucking around. So when all them little Martians show up and they get them the right to vote, they get them more food stamps than you get. They get them a bigger SSI check. You're going to see niggas ain't shit on the planet Earth. They don't give a damn about us. Everything we ever got as a people, we either had to fight for it or we had to die for it. Every single thing. But you want us to believe that you with us. I tell you what, man. You can walk around here. You can have marches for George Floyd. Where the marches at today for James Byrd? Where the politicians standing in front of the podium? You know, because that subject and what happened to Mr. Byrd it's a really tough thing to talk about in public. Because you ain't got but one option in that. You gotta pick a side. You gotta pick. And if you pick the black side as a black politician, then they feel like their political career is over. Just know one thing, that there's still James Byrds that are happening till this day. There's still James Byrds. And if I'm wrong, didn't over there in Georgia, didn't they run a black man down in the neighborhood, corner him, and shoot him? So it's not happening. Maybe I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. You know, I'm getting smaller. I'm 2 sandwiches short of a picnic anyway.
Yeah, you know, like you said, it just happened. Ahmaud Arbery, you know, and it's still happening. There was a case, I want to say maybe it was Texas. I don't know. There's so many of them where, you know, like I said, a black teenager was found shot in the head in the attic of a white man. And they talked about it was suicide. But he had a cast on one arm and, you know, shot on the opposite side, opposite of his dominant hand. So it's like, it's still going on, but it's just like swept under the rug.
Look at what they did to the brother in Shreveport. Look at what they talking about this now. The one they say ran his car into the thing and come to find out y'all done beat the hell out this man on the side of the road. But here's the thing, and I've been saying it and you said it tonight. Y'all ain't gonna do shit about it. You're gonna be upset. You're gonna march for a bit. The Negro pastor gonna show up. Here come the NAACP, and then y'all gonna all sing the song together. Oh, nigga, what you gonna say when freedom come your way? You ain't gonna do nothing. If they murder somebody in your family, you ain't gonna do nothing. You gonna trust the judicial system that was designed to screw us, to take care of them. So even with Chauvin, You know, you never know what's going to happen in sentencing. Because now they at the point where they feel we done mastered these Negroes in Minneapolis. We know what they're going to do. So the thing is either you're going to stand up and do something about it, or we just going to keep talking about the shit.
No, absolutely. And so Pariahs, how you doing? He says, I agree with all that's been said, but what's the resolve? Well, it is as it's always been. We need to unify. We need to get on the same page and stop voting for symbolism. Stop, hoping and wishing somebody outside of ourselves is going to save us. Now, I'm not saying we don't deserve reparation. That's a whole different conversation. But until that comes, we need to do for self. Get on the same page, and stop, as I said, putting so much hope in these politicians, especially our politicians. I mean, goddamn, how many times you gonna vote for a Black politician and realize they're not for Black people? I mean, I just I don't understand that ideology.
Donovan, follow me on this. Let's see where your mind at. I tell you what we can do. When the shit pop off, stop showing up with your goddamn Negro spirituals singing in the street. Stop dancing in the street. Stop dancing with the enemy in the streets. Now watch this. Tear this motherfucker up. Live by the words of Pac. Some of y'all screaming he the greatest rapper to ever live. He said it in his song, To Live and Die in L.A. We'll burn this bitch down if you get us pissed. And they mean, hey, I got love for my California homies. They meant that. Go back and look at 1993, 92. Go look at it on Netflix. When no games being played, man. And they showed you when we unify, they unified in LA. They couldn't handle them.
Yeah, I mean, when do we get to a point where we say all is lost? I mean, we have nothing to lose at this point. They only have so many jail. The 5-star was in Minneapolis a few weeks ago, and he showed a live video footage of all of the people out there. Even if they arrested a third of the people that was out in the streets, they don't have enough jails to hold those people. They just don't have it. They were outgunned. They were outmanned. When are we going to get to a point where we say enough is enough? These politicians that supposedly represent us, you guys got to understand. Stop listening to these older generation people. These politicians represent the Democratic and Republican parties, whatever their affiliation is. They are Republican and Democratic agents. They do not represent us. They are setting up their families and all that other good stuff, because when the boat leaves or whatever, these are the Negroes that have the mindset, oh, I'm with Massa, we good. But once all of us are gone, Massa's going to deal with them too. It doesn't matter how much money you think you have, these people will never accept you. And until we honestly realize that, these people are not going to accept us. We have to start doing for ourselves. We're on our own, as Stephen Biko has said. It's just going to be a chasing our tail constantly. That's why I'm the recovering Democrat. I have this want to hope the Democrat, it isn't going to work. They're not going to do right. Every chance I give them, they're not going to do right by me. And I just got to accept that, and I've got to move on.
So we've got to hold our money and start practicing group economics. And we've got to hold our vote and put forth a candidate that we can all get behind. Say, we as Black people are getting behind this candidate here, and here. Until then, we just don't vote. Let everybody else who is benefiting from the voting process get involved with the voting process. Dr. Claude Anderson says we are the only group of people who vote as a block against our better interests. And that's us continuing to vote for the Democrats against our better interests. They have showed us time and time again. And please don't somebody jump in the comment section talking about, but what about the Republicans? We know about the Republicans, so don't beat that up. But we do vote overwhelmingly for the Democrats. And so We have nothing to show for it even now. And it really like just does something to me. It's beyond worse than nails to a chalkboard to know that more Negro voters voted for Kamala and Biden, and they are so smug. They being Kamala and Biden are so smug in how they have turned, not that they've ever been for Black people, but lied. I'm going to stand by you and all this other stuff. And then they get up in the White House or wherever they've been and just completely, Joe Biden to the Congressional Black Caucus said, don't expect much on reparations. He told that to the Congressional Black Caucus that's supposed to be in there saying, Biden, you need to get something for my people. He told them that. Got caught on a hot mic telling them y'all need to get in line behind the Mexicans because there are more of y'all, more of them, and y'all going to have to start working. So they have been very open about their intentions with Black people, and we continue to defend them and to support them. I don't understand what's wrong with us, but the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said we are the walking dead. And a lot of Black people get mad at that. It's like, why are you mad at somebody calling you the walking dead when you act in that manner? Nobody with any thought process or any live brain cells would continue to vote for oppression. Who would do that? Only a person that's slave-minded would continue to think that Massa one day is going to do right by him or her. He's not. Never has, never will. Period.
Well, I would love to be in that room as a senator or congressperson and just hearing Joe say them words, man. You're going to have to get in line behind the Hispanics. There's not much I can do for reparations. Mr. Monroe, you can speak. With all due respect, Mr. President, fuck you. Hold on a second. It ain't shit you can do to me for telling me fuck you, but fuck you. When one of these folk gonna get them type of nuts? At the end of the day, you either stand for something or you fall for anything. That's all it boils down to. And we done been falling for the banana in the tailpipe for at least the last 60 years for sure. We've been falling for the banana in the tailpipe. So, I think everybody getting what they voted for at this moment. Donovan?
Absolutely. Like I said, my question is this. You had all these people out there, pushing the Democratic agenda and doing what they're supposed to do. You can't find them. I got friends that were out there on video, AKAs, dancing and primping. Then I ask about where we're at right now in the politics. They're like, what you talking about? Oh, I'm not into politics no more. A lot of these misleaders, and it's just so sad that people are so devious that they can't even own up to the fact that they made a mistake. It's okay to make a mistake. A lot of people are waking up. That's fine too, because that's what it's about. It's never too late to wake up. It's when you stay asleep is the problem. But again, I can't find any Biden supporters and Harris supporters. These people are silent. They're just disappearing. Where are they at? That's my question. Where are they at? Because I want to point these people out so that make sure that they don't mislead other people so that we can have a chance to get the right people involved.
Well, what they're doing at the moment is they're using other Negroes to get the word out. They're using the vote, the big bus they got riding all around the country, and the whole time because they know they about to lose something. So for me, it's nothing they can tell me. It's nothing that they can spoon feed me. You can't, like my aunt used to say, they gonna spoon feed you fat till you get old enough to eat shit. And that's what they done did to us. They done spoon fed us fat. And now we eat nothing but shit behind it. And it's all because you don't want to be the informed voter. You don't want to be the one to admit that these people are not right. They're not right. And because you don't want to admit that makes all of us suffer, even the conscious ones. The Demetras and the Donovans. We all gotta suffer because you motherfuckers can't get it right in the voting booth. Where's Warnock? Where this fucking motherfucker at, man? You got your bitch ass voted in. Ain't nobody heard from you since. We told you about Kamala. We tried to tell you. But you was talking crazy to us, cussing us out on our pages. But now your girl look just like what she looked like, a spade. We called a spade, and now she looking like a spade. So ski-wee your ass to the polls and fix these fucking problems. So the same way we said we didn't vote Trump in, it ain't our responsibility to vote his stinking ass out. It ain't our responsibility for you to fix this Biden and Harris fucking problem. Y'all need to go to the polls and fix your fucking problem. Because ain't no way we can survive with 8 years of this bullshit. In Minnesota, they want to put something in place in Minnesota about the Asian hate crimes. I ain't seen no motherfucking Asians get whooped in Minnesota. I ain't seen this go. Look, I done told you. You get mad all you want. I ain't seen nobody commit no violence against no Asians except for the last Bruce Lee movie I saw when I was about 12.
You know, and speaking of Warnock, as you guys know, he is up for re-election during this midterm. That was a special election he won. The Democrats, I don't think, want to hold that seat because that's going to be their excuse why they can't run their agenda. They are already forming the narrative. You guys are watching TV tonight, MSNBC, CNN, whatever you watch, you're going to have these black females, black women, the backbone of the Democratic Party, once again up there touting and telling you, and here's the narrative. Oh, well, you know, the Joe Manchin thing, the reason why he's doing that is we haven't elected enough Democrats so that, you know, we could push the agenda for voting because voting is on the menu right now. This is what they're going to tell you. Voting is on the menu. But notice one man is holding up the whole freaking agenda. But you got 58 CBC members that could hold up the whole Democratic agenda in the House, but they do nothing. If I had 58 members, Nancy Pelosi says, I want to get the Dreamers Act, I would be saying, nope, until you get us a vote on reparations or you get us a vote on the study, can we get a study vote? None of your agenda's passing. 58 members. You got one man in the Senate. It's sad.
Robin Cooper say, I pay my taxes more than what I want to pay. I'm not getting behind nobody but my black people. Well, hold on. Let me talk to you real quick. It ain't gonna take me but a quick second. So these crooked black motherfuckers that's representing us, them the ones you talking about getting behind? Them crooked black motherfuckers that won't go down there and fight for us? Them crooked black motherfuckers that won't fix our school system? That won't do a goddamn thing for us? You talking about them motherfuckers? But you gonna get behind a motherfucker who promised you some money that you ain't never got. Then you made excuses for the money. Or what he meant where if he give you 6, 9, 14 later, that's 2,000. No, nickel, you said 2 G's. I know how to count. The dope game taught me that. Why I need to get behind a crooked black motherfucker? Because if I think about it the right way, as much as you want me to believe that it's the white ones that's fucking me, no, it's the crooked black ones that's putting that wood to us, bro.
Yeah, I mean, and we've been putting hope in black people sent by white people for a very long time. You know, even from the plantation where they had the black pastor running around, you know, telling the rest of the black people, oh, he's all right.
You know what? Just by you saying that, I was just thinking, if you really want to clean up the black community, get rid of all the motherfucking liquor stores because you want to keep us drunk. And get rid of the motherfucking churches on every half a block. Because as long as you can keep us fucked up with the religion and the alcohol, we ain't gonna never figure none of this shit out.
No, I mean, and that's absolutely right. But see, again, and I don't mean it to be mean, but we are just too dead to understand that, you know, that they put those businesses in our neighborhoods, like you said, to keep us in a state of being a zombie, right? The more drugged and drunk we are, the less we realize what's going on around us. That's the best way to keep a person is in a stupor, a drunken stupor, so that they're not cognizant. But I don't know. I just think, there's some days I really do lose hope in us as Black people. Not all of us, but just as a collective, because there's more of the Negroes who are the Negroes who keep voting for oppression are more certain than the rest of us are, or maybe there's more in numbers of those people. I think that's what I'm trying to say. But I think we've got a long way to go. And it would not surprise me if a lot of Black people vote for Joe Biden and Kamala, in 2024, saying we need to give them one more chance. We got to keep Trump out. And, the other thing that doesn't help either is because Trump hasn't gone anywhere. Even this past weekend, he's, out doing this thing. And so it's fresh on people's minds of, the things that Trump did or did not do when he was a president. So I think, they'll still continue to vote for Joe and Kamala, even though, Joe hasn't been in office 180, not even 200 days. And he has completely shown us who he is and how he feels about Black people. But just look at the people on your pages or the people who will fight you to the death over Kamala and Joe Biden. And they know that. Look at some of the politicians still making excuses for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in the way they did Black people. So, we'll vote for them overwhelmingly again.
Yeah,
Joe and Kamala ain't did nothing to Black people that ain't been done before.
Right, exactly.
Shit.
Yeah, but how many of you guys remember this? I want you guys to remember this statement. I put it in the comments real quick. Does this sound familiar? I know I didn't come through for you guys that stood by me the first time. I know I didn't come through, but if you vote for me this second time, you give me your vote for this second term, I'm gonna come through for you. Who does that sound like, Demetria?
Obama? That sounds like
Exactly. That is going to be the exact playbook Joe Biden and Kamala are going to come with if Joe Biden runs, because they're going to say, oh, I know I didn't come through for you. I know I let you down. You guys got me in the office. But if you vote for me this second time, I'm going to come through with you. If you guys are dumb enough to fall for that, because when a president goes into his second term, they don't have to do shit because they can't run again. So don't fall for it.
Let me Nurse Theria, I think that's how you say her name. Oh, how you doing? Long time no see. You say, when some people realize they're actually Afro-Asiatic and learn to identify who they really are by researching it, the real history, and it cuts off, we could be Kermit the motherfucking Frog right now. What difference does any of that make? You think because we call ourselves Asiatic, which we are, but you think because we call ourselves Asiatic, the white supremacy is going to start treating us differently? That's not how that works. We've been called everything from nigger to colored to, Afro-Americans, Black. We've been called everything, and nothing has changed for Black people. And so I get what you're saying. It's really a source of inner pride or whatever, but I think when we do stuff like that, it convolutes the real issue. It's not because we're called or calling ourselves African Americans or Black that we're being mistreated. We were mistreated long before that. So I don't understand why people do that. Is it to sound like you're the smartest person in the comment section? Like, what's going on? Help me out.
Well, Robin Cooper said 5-star, all of us is not like the Black people you speak of. I can't identify who the real Black folk is right now and who the fake ones are. The same way I don't know a good cop from a bad cop right now. Black people I see no comments on this show saying anything positive about Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Prior to the November election, motherfuckers was going to war for these clowns. And we told you what these people was going to do. We told you. So I don't know who the real Black people are right now. And we in this together. That was your end of your comment. We're in this together. I don't know. But I know where I stand, and I'm going to stand firm, and I'm not going to change the way that I think. I don't care if I'm running for office. And people, man, you got to polish yourself. Man, I'm real. I ain't doing no faking, bro. I'm not finna fake to get into no office, because when I get in there, I ain't going to be faking. You know, bottom line is, you know, people don't get it, and they don't want to get it. And I'm at a point where nigga don't. Reality has a way of sneaking up on you. And when reality sneaks up on you in about 9 years, and then you won't be able to do anything, what you gonna say then? What you gonna say then? So at the end of the day, let me read her comment. Dimitri probably didn't see it. First off, research those terms, and using those derogatory terms put you in a place to not have any rights. So you can go ahead and be Kermit the Frog. Long time no see, correct. Well, get what? I'm going to sit here and I'm going to sip this tea and I'm going to be Kermit. And I'm going to be me. I don't give a fuck what you call me in America. I'm America's worst nightmare. Demetria is America's worst nightmare. Donovan is America's worst nightmare. Walter is America's worst nightmare, because we some intelligent Negroes. You can't run that game on us, bro. We done figured it out. Ain't no compromising. Ain't nothing you can bring to the table to make us change our thought patterns. We figured it out. All you got to do is figure it out. And we'll know if you figured it out in the next election. Even in the midterms, we will know. And I got a strange feeling. Some of you niggas done missed class, and you ain't gonna know who to vote for.
How you doing, Ira? Right, he's the president of my fan club. Says, can I identify as white? Some of y'all Negroes do that anyway. Why are you asking me? The way y'all think and the way y'all act, you identify as white anyway. I mean, that was you don't need our permission to already do what you're doing. And somebody said something. Oh man, what was it? Let me see. Where'd it go? Shit.
I'm white. I identify as white. You can be whatever you want to be nowadays, especially on social media.
I see it. So Vanessa, you say no voting. I mean, no voting. Boycotting is the key. Which business to start with? Walmart or Amazon? Which ones? Well, as Dr. Claude Anderson say, we are very good at boycotting. We boycott Black businesses all the time. So we're already doing that. But boy, as you can see, yeah, boycotting is cool. But at the end of the day, like, we should be boycotting those businesses anyway. You know, like when Hispanics go to the store, they wake up in the morning and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go to the store. They don't have to tell themselves, shop Hispanic today. Did you shop at a Mexican business today? It's second nature to them. Us, we automatically go right for the other businesses that are not like our own. And so we just need to get good at practicing group economics, and we won't have to boycott those people, and they would treat us nicer or better if they start seeing that a lot of our $1.3 trillion that we see every year, we give 97% of that away. If that 97% starts to dwindle down to 87, 77, 67, and so on and so forth, then they're going to start saying, okay, we've lost our biggest customer, the biggest consumer. What do we need to do? Do we need to talk to these legislators and make sure they write some laws that make Black people a protected class? Like, what do we need to do? And so I think we focus too much on trying to, stay away from the other businesses opposed to just doing business with our own people. But yeah, Ira, I mean, I'm sure you have no problem with acting white every day anyway. So do what you've been doing.
Hold on. That's not the comment I was looking for. Robin Cooper. Donovan, Y'all are basically blaming us for what some did that's not right. Bullshit. Who the fuck voted for them people, man? Who put them people in the White House? Who put the Dixiecrat and the Wiggle in the White House?
Statistically, 93% of black women voted Democrat. 87% statistically voted black men voted Democrat. And here's one thing. Here's one thing that we got to say, Robin. And a lot of people, you know, get offended. And this is just me. We're just having a conversation. If it doesn't apply, you shouldn't be offended. If it doesn't apply, let it on by. So, you know, if you didn't vote Democrat or whatever, then it doesn't apply to you. Or, you know, like I said, I can't speak for you, but I don't know where anybody would be offended if it doesn't apply to them. But if you voted Democrat and that's your stance, own your shit. You know, just own it. I mean, it is what it is. I've got friends right now that will argue with me talking about, well, Donovan, you need numbers. We don't have the court systems. We don't have this. We don't have that, right? Did the Dreamers have the court system? Did the illegals have the court system? Why is it that black people, we have to have this, and this before we can get any kind of legislation? But the Asians just got a bill. They don't have courts. They don't even have the numbers to put the Democrats in the White House. But you see what I'm saying? Okay. So it's all relevant.
Let's try. Can we try something, y'all? Because on this thread, on this show tonight, not a lot of Biden and Harris supporters. Let's just be brutally honest. And I'm gonna type in who did you vote for? Hold on, watch this. I'm gonna be honest with you. What that say, Donovan?
Green.
I voted green. So now let's be honest, y'all. Who did y'all vote for? Republican or Democrat? Republican, because it's y'all on this thread, some of y'all, that did this. But now you don't want to own up to it. So who did you vote for? Let's be interactive tonight. Hit your side of that and tell the truth.
Yeah, I didn't vote for either. I didn't vote for the Green Party either. Just know I didn't vote for none of them, and I had my reasons for not doing so. But I mean, and Robin, I think it was the one that said that we're blaming. No, we're not blaming you per se. But I guess what we're trying to say is that there's more black people who like voting for oppression, like defending oppression. There's people like Nurse Etheria, I think that's how you say her name, and Ira, who like to be the smartest Negroes in the comment section, but they ain't said shit but a little bit. They just want a little attention, but they're not actually helping to move the ball anywhere. They like to come in and try to trip up, conversations that are going forth when people are trying to teach other people things. So that's what we're saying is people like that who are, they are the monkey wrench. You know how they said, what was it? Friday, one of those, you the monkey wrench hole in the black community. Those are the people we're speaking of.
Okay. Now, I waited for somebody to put something up. Now, Wilbur Powell, he's being brutally honest. He say, I voted for Biden because of the student loans. Okay. So now, let's be honest, Wilbur. How do you feel now?
Will you vote for him again?
Knowing that he done lied. Normally, it take time to figure out if these motherfuckers lied. Biden took a motherfucking truth pill the day after the election and just said, fuck y'all, I'm gonna tell the truth. I ain't doing nothing. So do you vote for him again knowing he lied?
Yeah, Joseph Coley says, how about no reparations, no vote? Exactly. If our folks ain't gonna put reparations on there, you guys, politics is it's about numbers. It's like playing chess. A pawn is a very strong piece if it's moved strategically. We have the numbers already. All these excuses.
But no reparations, no vote. All he got to do is get to Biden desk. Now we hold Biden accountable if he vetoes it. The people we need to deal with on reparations is the motherfucker sitting in Congress. You see what I'm saying? Them the ones that need to bring it to the floor. And they won't bring it to the floor. They got enough, you had enough votes to go in there with that fucked up shit about impeaching Trump. But now you got the power to make shit happen. And you still ain't doing it. So do you just hold Biden accountable, or do you hold his imps who have the power to hold them accountable for not doing their fucking jobs and bringing it to the floor?
Yeah, have you guys noticed that they won't bring the study of reparations for a vote? Do you guys want to know why? Because it's going to expose Democrats who don't want black folks to have anything. And some of those Democrats are black.
Wilbur said he will absolutely not vote for Biden and Harris again. Douglas, Dwayne Jones, I will not be voting for him again. They just wanted a brother's vote. That's what we talking about, man. That make them bastards earn your vote.
Yeah, and we're not telling you to go vote Republican. We're telling you vote your interest. It doesn't matter. The thing is, if you voted for Democrats this last time, are you going to do it again? I mean, again, I'm called the recovering Democrat because you know what I was doing? I kept voting and kept voting and kept voting, wanting something to change, and it didn't. Isn't that the definition of insanity?
Nurse said there's a whole damn fight in this comment section, Demetra. I get it. Paid opposition, quote unquote. Go on somewhere and sit before you get exposed. Let me tell you something. My heart don't pump no Kool-Aid. You ain't gonna expose shit. You've been exposed for constantly getting in this comment section and not saying anything. No one, we can Google the shit you saying. You throwing these red herrings and to try to hijack the conversation, and you get mad because you get exposed. Don't try to, nah, this is on you, sister. This is your thing. This is like your MO. You get in here, okay, today, I'm going to just throw a monkey wrench in there, sound like I'm the smartest person in there. Shit, you ain't nothing you're going to be able to say about me that I ain't already said. Go ahead, I'm waiting.
Well, I want to do this for my favorite viewer. His name is Al. And, you know, the song went wood grain. Not platinum, not gold, but it went wood grain. I'm from Houston. And even on the album cover, we had them elbows sticking out. You feel me? So y'all sing it with me. Joe Biden gonna hit you with the dick. Joe Biden gonna hit you with the dick. I told y'all for the election what that clown was gonna do. Hold your vote. Make them earn your vote. And you earn the vote by doing the work before the election. Now, let's just be honest. I've been working for the last 4 years, and now I'm running for office. My work speak for me. My work speak for me. So even me giving out, you know, digital tablets. Hold on a second. But that nigga that been doing that shit for the last 4 years. He been doing this shit for years. I'm not doing this to shine. I do it because it need to be done. And I'm tired waiting on them people, and I'm tired begging them. Make these people do the work. When they come to your neighborhood with their big charter bus and Black Votes Matter, nigga, let's talk. Pull out the domino table. Let's talk. What are you doing for black people? No disrespect to the Congresswoman, Sheila Jackson Lee. Would you like to sit, because I know you watch, and if you don't, you got Carl Davis watching. Would you like to sit down and have a conversation with me? Because I don't want to hear about what you think you're going to do in the next 3 to 4 years. I want to know what you've done. And if you can't show me what you've done, then you don't get my vote. I'm not going on promises. I'm dealing with pathological liars. So I can't go on what you promising me because you never deliver on the promises. You can't show me the work. You can't get my vote.
Exactly. And that's what we got to start doing. I mean, we want raises. When you want a raise from your boss, does he just give it to you because you asked for one? No, he gets a performance report and he checks your paperwork. What have you done? Do you deserve to be reelected? Do you deserve these things? And that's what we need to start doing with our elected officials. The same thing. You've been in there 30 years. On my podcast, I constantly show out and show people that these people have been sitting there for 30 years and they haven't done anything specifically for Black people. They do for everybody else, but they don't do anything for Black people. And yet people get mad at me because I show their public service record, which is nothing in regards to people. And let's be honest, Black people that are representatives that have Black skin are predominantly put in there by people that have Black skin. Asians vote for Asians, Hispanics vote for Hispanics, majority-wise. And so you mean to tell me we put these people in there that look like us and we can't get any type of legislation to even just the George Floyd bill? The man was murdered on national TV. They can't even pass it. The Asians get a bill passed in the same year in a couple of months that it even became a thing. Within 3 or 4 months, that bill was passed from inception to Joe Biden's desk. One of the fastest legislations ever produced.
I'm waiting for the bill because I could have swore it was an Asian officer involved in the killing of a Black man on the corner of 38 in Chicago. So I'm waiting on the Asian bill, and I'm waiting on, we got the Asian bill. I'm waiting on the video. Where are the videos of Black people attacking Asian people? Where are the videos of Black people putting their knees on the necks of Asian people? I'm just asking. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but where are those videos?
I got a better question for you.
I don't see Asian people hanging from trees. I don't see little Asian girls missing every day in their communities. Mm-hmm. Show me the proof.
I got a better question for you. Show me an Asian video where they're out there supporting Black Lives Matter. Show me an Asian video where they're out there supporting Black people being murdered and killed and stuff like that. Show me a video of Asian representatives speaking up for Black people being murdered. Hispanic people speaking up for Black people. Show me those videos.
Dimitri, do me a favor, because we on fire right now. Do me a favor.
Sure.
And I know you don't like to watch, and if you don't want to watch, just mute your, blank your screen. Go get me the Ronald Green video. Go get me the Ronald Green video. Go get the video, because this is what Asians are going through. Go get that video for me. I'm gonna show you what the Asians are going through, since they need a bill and they need to be the protected class. When for 400 years you've been killing us, you burned down a whole motherfucking town in Tulsa. You burn a whole community. Rosewood. But this is what the Asians been going through. Let me know. And I want to see it. I just want to, and I'm being honest with you, Eric P. I want to see the video. I want to see the video of all this hate that's been going on to the point that we can pass legislation in 2 months. Man, please. We can do all this motherfucking talking we want. We can go back and do everything everybody say. But until we stand up on 10 toes and say enough is enough and start busting back, ain't shit gonna change.
And
nothing gonna change.
And that's the final solution. I mean, we're at a point, you guys, if we don't get this right within the next 9 years, we will be politically irrelevant and our wealth is already gone. I mean, the jobs, the pandemic, all this stuff's been wiped out, and we've been, basically eradicated in regards to, being supported and all this other stuff within our own communities. If we don't get this right in 9 years, you add that up, it equals slavery. Not in the literal sense, but in the economic sense. We will no longer control our destiny.
Hold on, y'all. This is what they're doing to Asian people. This is what they're doing to Asian people, and they need a bill. Y'all, it's graphic. Run it, D.
Well, tonight there's outrage over some disturbing body cam video from Louisiana. It shows the violent arrest of a man who later died after an encounter with police. And the big question tonight, were officers trying to cover up what happened? Here's CBS's Janet Shamlian.
That's the voice of Ronald Green, apologizing after leading Louisiana state troopers on a high-speed chase.
I'm scared. I'm just scared.
After he's stopped, a trooper tases him, and he's pulled from the car. The 2019 video, newly obtained by the Associated Press, shows being beaten, kicked, and repeatedly tased by one of 7 white officers on the scene. The 49-year-old was also dragged briefly by his shackled ankles. The AP says Green was then left face down for more than 9 minutes.
When you first saw this video, what did you think?
I thought it was a murder.
Tonight, CBS News is hearing from Green's mother, Mona Hardin, who first saw the video last fall.
No one is above the law. But it seems like they continue to dance this out to where they wanted to just go away.
Hardin says state police initially claimed her son died from injuries in the car crash that ended the chase, later changing the story, acknowledging there was a struggle and saying Green died en route to the hospital. Lee Merritt has filed a wrongful death suit on the family's behalf.
These men not only had to do this terrible thing, they didn't have to falsify reports.
The Justice Department has opened a criminal investigation, and the FBI is also involved.
The Louisiana State Police tells CBS News the incident is still under review. It calls the release of that video unauthorized and says it compromises the investigation. Nora?
Janet Chamlian, thank you.
Isn't the chief of police or the state trooping guy a black guy that was in charge of that held that video for a year? Isn't there a black man that's in charge of the state troopers that withheld that video?
But Donovan, qualified immunity was created to protect officers like that during the civil rights movement. Now, the civil rights movement was almost 70 years ago. Is that not history repeating itself? The only thing that's different, they got fancy cars now compared to what they had back then. How do you justify tasing a man that's already on the ground, pleading with you? He's not resisting. So y'all tell me. Here's a problem. Everybody got a solution, but ain't nobody ready to do nothing. And I'm going to tell you something. You be the smartest nigga in the room. I don't care. But if you ain't no goddamn soldier right now, we ain't gonna get shit solved. It's gonna take us standing up for ourselves. Now, I just want y'all to know that happened. The video you just saw happened during slavery time. This is what the Asians go through, right? So can somebody send it to us, or maybe Demetri, you can find it? Can you show us a video of some Asians going through the same thing?
Does it have to be modern, or do I have to go back? And I think the Shaolin Temple, I saw something similar when Chong Li got into,
I'm just saying, unless they can show me this, I don't believe that it's happening the way that they say it's happening. You feel what I'm saying? And Vanessa say, boycott just one rich business at a time collectively. Then the rich would say, hell no, give them their reparations. Seriously, I know it will work. I'm ready. Okay, well, we can't wait for everybody to get together, Vanessa, to do it. So right now, just stop spending your money with them. I eat black on every day. It's got to be black on. But see, if we gonna really affect it, I remember the day in Houston where all the rappers showed up, they come with the TV cameras, and we're finna open an account at this black-owned bank. And I said, I'm not impressed. Show me the video of you closing your account at the white-owned bank. Because all you got to do is pay $25 to open a fucking account over here. You ain't doing nothing. See, we playing games. We know what we got to do. But guess what? Some of y'all know, in order for us to accomplish the goal, a few of us got to go to jail. A whole bunch of us got to die. And that would make it better for our next sets of generations. But if we're not prepared to do that, then shit, we'll be talking about this shit every night.
And I want to say too, Vanessa, you actually have the right spirit. I think too, you should take that to people you know, and talk to them about practicing group economics, and buying black and all of that. Just to touch the people that you know and that you talk to on a daily basis. And if we all were to do that, talk to people in our homes or our neighbors, our friends, hey, you know what? Let's start practicing group economics. How about we hold our vote until we get something for it? We'd be better off instead of, talking out the sides of our necks like Nurse Theria, who again is trying to be the smartest Negro in the comment section. I think she got Tourette syndrome or something. I don't know.
You off the chain tonight. I think, yeah, she does have the right spirit, because that's what it would take. But it's a movement. It's a marathon, like Nip would say. It's a marathon. This ain't no goddamn 100-yard dash. So if we start with one business, then we just start moving to the next ones. If y'all want to cripple the economy, stop fucking with Amazon right now. If you stop fucking with Amazon, you get some shit done. But y'all can't stop doing it because you addicted to it. Some of y'all don't even try to get no pussy no more. You got an Amazon Prime account. You can order you some pussy. You can order you a rubber dick. You don't give a damn. But you can't stop fucking with Amazon. If you want to affect this game, you got to affect their money. And I don't give a damn what nobody say. Once you affect their money, you're going to get a seat at your own table. You don't have to sit at their table anymore. You're going to get a seat at your own table. But now the question is what do you want? And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Some of y'all don't need to sit at the table when the conversation is started, because you're going to fuck the whole situation up. When Cube sat at his table, and he was trying to tell you ain't want to listen. Some of y'all got in the middle of that conversation and fucked the whole thing up.
And I can think of one person right off the bat that don't need to sit at the table. That's somebody in the comment section that claims to be a nurse. Probably gonna put her elbows on the table and use her shirt for a napkin. So she definitely don't need to be at the table.
Yikes.
Hey,
can
we get a celebrity boxing match? Can we get a celebrity boxing match?
That's what I'm saying. It's getting hot in here. But yeah, no. But, again, you guys, this is why we have these conversations, and they're just conversations, because if you don't communicate and we don't communicate and get these ideas out, again, a lot of you guys voted. Now you know better. When you know better, you do better, right? And that's where we're at. And that's what these platforms are about. Final words.
Demetri, I think you need to make this a shirt. Weaponize our money. Stop buying shit. Boy, if you do that, game over. Final thoughts, Ms. Demetri.
Yes, Pariahs, make the shirt and sell us one. I actually like that. I actually have a shirt that says no justice, no money. And then you can always flip it around and say no money, no justice, or however you want to do it. But yeah, I mean, again, like I said, this is a start of us having a conversation and, waking each other up. And, it's all in fun, I guess. But we should, shun the people who are trying to be a distraction, because that's what's happened to us throughout history. Marcus Garvey was taken down by a distraction. A Negro who wanted to be more than he was. Agent 800 took him out in a whole movement just because white people told him that he was important. And people like some of the people in the comment section have been putting a kink in the chain of Black progress ever since. And so we need to continue having those conversations and just keep waking people up. People like Nurse Theria, we're not going to wake her up. She knows everything already. And so, as Marcus Garvey told us so many years ago, you got to leave niggas like her behind. So y'all have a good evening.
Once again, another great conversation. Again, you guys, we thank you for joining us. Please stop in tomorrow. This is why we're one of the best in the business. But I just want to say, you guys, they are shooting and killing Black people out there, and the Democratic Party is doing absolutely nothing about it. And it's not just in the streets. They're walking right into your homes and murdering you. And the Democrats are doing nothing about it.
My people, just wake up. That's all I got to tell you. It's a reason we the best in the business. Every night, Monday through Friday, YouTube and Facebook. I want to thank my man Donovan Sadiq, the Queen Demetra K, and I am the 5-star general. Until tomorrow night, we'll talk to you. But guess what? We running a real live Waffle House on here. When you show up with that funny shit, you will get served. We'll holler at y'all tomorrow, man.